We've got a late-night update on Yoshinobu Yamamoto. When can we expect a decision? Who is the latest team to make an offer for the Japanese ace? That's coming up next here on Dodgers Dugout.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Strike three. Dodgers have won it all in 2020. Mookie Betts cranks it left field.
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades.
I don't care how many times this team rips my heart out, I'll never stop loving the Los Angeles Dodgers. Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. Hey, what up, Dodgers Nation? Doug McKain here, credential member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on the X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you haven't yet, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to support the channel, you want to see us post even more videos, do more giveaways, definitely smash that like button. And as always, on with your takes down below in the comment section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day: what is your prediction right now for Yoshinobu Yamamoto? Does he end up with the Dodgers? Does he end up with the Yankees? Is it the Mets? Is it the Phillies? Is it the Red Sox? I want your gut prediction right now. Let me know down below. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So I promised you this offseason I was going to keep you updated every single step of the way here, and what's turning out to be the most exciting offseason in free agency in Dodgers franchise history. And we got a little update on Yoshinobu Yamamoto late today, and that is that he has received an offer, and it's not from the Mets, it's not from the Dodgers, it's not from the Yankees. None of those have been reported as of yet. It's from another team in the NL East, and that's the Philadelphia Phillies. Matt Gelb of The Athletic, he's reported that the Phillies have put forth a formal contract offer for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Now, we don't know the terms, we don't know the dollar amount, and also it's expected that it's not going to be his highest offer, that the Phillies still are a long shot to sign him, and that they're really unaware about the interest that he has in joining the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, if they were somehow to land him, you look at their rotation, you got Aaron Nola back on that $165 million deal, you got Zach Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, Taijuan Walker, Christopher Sanchez. I mean, that would be a very deep rotation for a team that already has an offense that's one of the most explosive offenses in Major League Baseball, with Bryce Harper and Trey Turner. You got Nick Castellanos, you got Kyle Schwarber. So don't forget about the Phillies, a very aggressive franchise that's going all in, trying to win the World Series next season as well. Now, do I think the Phillies are seriously in the mix? I think the answer is no. I still think that it's a three-team race. I think it's between the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the New York Mets. I think the San Francisco Giants, based on the fact that they haven't been able to land any big superstars yet, even last year and this year, I think that they are going to offer him a very large dollar amount. The question is, does he want to be a San Francisco Giant? I think that at the end of the day, probably going to have some more coal in your stocking up in San Francisco when it comes to Yamamoto. Now, I think when you break down the teams, Dodgers, Yankees, Mets, it comes down to, of those three, Stephen Cohen, he's the 94th richest man on the planet. He's got FU money. He's the richest owner in the sport. If he wants to go crazy and offer him $350 to $400 million plus the posting fee, maybe he goes with the Mets. If it's about the money, it's the Mets. Could also be about, okay, I would be one of the biggest stars on the New York Mets. Yes, you have Lindor, you have some stars there, there's no doubt about it. But he goes to the Yankees, you got Judge, you got Soto, you got Garrett Cole, a Cy Young Award winner, to name a few. Goes to the Dodgers, you've got Shohei Ohtani, the biggest superstar on the planet right now. You've got Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and all the star power in LA. So what the Mets could offer him is New York City, less pressure to win next season. You can let him really assimilate and transition to Major League Baseball. Of course, the mound is different. The ball is different. It's not as tacky. It's a little heavier. The strike zone adjustment might be a little different. Also, you have Kodai Senga. And Kodai Senga had a great rookie season, finished right behind Corbin Carroll for Rookie of the Year. Also, he went to the Mets brass and tried to tell them he wanted to play with Yamamoto. So there's that connection there. So I think the Mets are still a viable option. Of course, just to get you up to speed, Stephen Cohen went to Japan. They had dinner. You had Met scouts there. They're very aggressive. You had a party, a meeting, a dinner at Stephen Cohen's mansion in Connecticut, which is like the size of 3 Costco's. I mean, you're talking about a luxurious mansion. I'm sure they wooed him. He's the Jeff Bezos of baseball. And of course, you got the New York Yankees. The Yankees, they've met with him twice. They felt good about those meetings. They're confident. If you talk to insiders, if you hear insiders on various TV shows, whether it be MLB Network or on podcasts, the Yankees have a lot of momentum, a lot of buzz. It feels like they're the trendy and safe pick right now. You got Matsui, you got Tanaka, a part of the recruiting process. But then do not forget about the Los Angeles Dodgers. And we talked about it earlier. Jack Harris of the LA Times, he reported that the Dodgers were considering and weighing an offer that was somewhere in between $250 million and $300 million. And we talked about what that would cost as far as the posting fee that would be attached to that, which would be, if it was $250 million, you'd be looking at a $39.375 million posting fee. Then you add where the Dodgers would be at as far as dipping into luxury tax for the 3rd straight year. They'd be taxed at a 62% rate for spending between $257 to $277 million, and that would come at a $17 million additional charge. So you'd be looking at $306 million for Yamamoto's services. Now, with the money that they saved, with Shohei Ohtani deferring 97% of his contract, they absolutely can afford Yamamoto. If he's willing to sign with the Dodgers, contractually, they can make it happen. Because don't forget, too, you got some deferrals in the Mookie contract. You got some deferrals in the Freddie contract. And if you look at the salary commitments for next season for the Dodgers, they're still under $200 million. And when you look at the money, the present value money they actually have to pay out. So they can absolutely afford it, especially when we look at the cash flow they're going to have with all the endorsements and the sponsorship opportunities. They haven't even got their jersey patch deal locked up, which I told you a couple months ago. They were waiting for Ohtani to make that deal happen. So the cash flow is there for the Dodgers. They can absolutely sign him. It's just a matter of, does he want to be in Dodger blue? And I think that's going to be the big decision. The Mets, I think, are still major players. Like I said, SNY's Andy Martino, he was on their local show yesterday, and he said that the Mets were putting together a, quote, very serious offer. So if I had to make a guess, I would probably guess that the Mets are going to make the biggest offer. The Dodgers and the Yankees offers are probably going to be close, and it's just going to come down to, do you want to be a Yankee? And do you want to wear pinstripes and play for that iconic franchise, or do you want to wear Dodger blue and play for the iconic franchise at Dodger Stadium with Shohei Ohtani? Because here's the thing. I've heard stuff out there, okay, maybe he doesn't want some rival executives. There was a report that he doesn't want to be in Ohtani's shadow. I've got news for you. Even if they're not on the same team, even if Ohtani's on the Dodgers and he's on the Yankees, he's still going to be in Ohtani's shadow to a degree, because the headlines in Japan are always going to be about Ohtani. I mean, maybe if he goes on some Fernando Valenzuela, Fernando Mania type tear where he's going insane with a .5 ERA in his first 8 starts. He's throwing a couple perfect games and no-hitter. Yeah, he's going to definitely get that attention in New York because he's a great pitcher, but still, I just don't think that is as big of a factor. I think it's going to come down to fit and where he wants to play. Look, the reports are that he grew up a Dodgers fan, and that has to mean something. That means that he's visualized himself in those wedding gown white Dodgers uniforms with that beautiful Dodger blue hat. By the way, don't love the new Dodgers numbers with the white dots on them, and the red number looks smaller with the white dots on them. I'm going to have Paul Lucas from Uni Watch Blog on the show next week. We're going to break that all down, but not happy about that. But I digress. Let's get back to the topic at hand. But yeah, Yamamoto, he grew up a Dodger fan. So I definitely think that means something. And the organization internally, they feel really good about the meeting they had with him at Dodger Stadium last week. So you add all that together, the fact that Ohtani himself was present along with Mookie Betts, along with Will Smith, along with Freddie Freeman, along with Dave Roberts, and this Dodgers brass recruiting him to the Dodgers to be the ace alongside Glasnow, alongside Walker Buehler and Bobby Miller. I think that's going to carry a lot of weight. And I think it's really just a lifestyle decision at this point. Do you want to be in California? Do you want to be in New York? I don't think he's going to let money ultimately determine the decision. I truly don't believe that. I think that the Mets are a very comfortable choice for him because from a timeline standpoint, they need more frontline starting pitching, right? Verlander's gone, Scherzer's gone. You need to add to that rotation, but also he's young enough where he can help you win a couple years down the road. It doesn't have to be next year. Yankees, they need him to help him win next year. The Dodgers, they need to help him win next year. Does he want that kind of pressure? That'd be the question that I have. I think he does. I think that he is willing to embrace the spotlight, and I think he's a big game pitcher. You saw the 14 strikeout game he had in the Japan series. So I think he's built for this. There's no doubt about it, but it's just something to consider because Major League Baseball and the MPB, very different, right? And it's just, I think the big decision for him is, does he want to be on this rockstar Dodgers team or does he want to be on the East Coast? The Giants, I'd be shocked at this point if he lands in San Francisco. For him, even if financially, if he wanted the money, I think, look, maybe it's San Francisco is really the West Coast version of what the New York Mets are, where they'll offer him a ton of money. And if California's the location, if he wants California and the money, maybe he goes that route. Personally, I don't think that. And I think the Dodgers, too, considering the money, like I said earlier, that they're saving with Shohei Ohtani, that they would be willing to go up and try to increase their bid for him. So it's going to be very interesting. John Heyman of the New York Post, he wrote about the timeline for a decision, and really it was a lot of everything. I mean, he said that, okay, we could have a decision this week. We could have a decision after Christmas. But guess what? We are definitely going to have a decision by January 4th because that is when the window from his posting date will expire. So I think we're going to get something relatively soon. Could it be by the end of this week? I'm hoping that's the case. If not, guaranteed, I think next week we're going to hear something about Yamamoto. Now, I'm finding this very interesting. I saw this on Twitter. There's an account. It's like MLB Insider. It's one of those accounts where you don't know who the guy actually is. And he posted a tweet that had a jersey swap of Yamamoto, and he's standing next to Ohtani. And he said that Ohtani's and Yamamoto are going to be teammates, that Yamamoto has chosen the Dodgers and this and that. Like I said, take this with a grain of salt, the Rock of Gibraltar, but it is pretty eerie that this same account, not only did he predict Ohtani to the Dodgers, he also predicted to check Ohtani's Instagram post where he ultimately announced his decision. Like I said, I'm not reporting this as fact or anything like that. I just think it's very interesting. If this guy hits on this one, yeah, it could be a situation where someone's just throwing pasta at a wall and hoping to guess right, and he's just throwing darts in. Sure, but I'm just trying to have some fun here with this. I think it's a lot of fun. These mystery insiders, I can't even think they qualify on the Dodgers dog rumor meter, but still, it's a lot of fun. The guy has a good personality about it. Maybe he knows something. Maybe there are certain MLB executives that do follow some of those accounts, which I think is pretty funny, but still, yeah, make of that what you will. I think the most important thing, though, right now is that it does appear to be down to the two favorites, the Dodgers and the Yankees, and the fact that the Dodgers could fortify this rotation with a very unique player that you're getting at 25. That's, to me, what you always have to remind yourself when it comes to Yoshinobu Yamamoto, is that typically you are not going to get an opportunity to sign ace-level starting pitchers when they're 25 years old. Most cases, they're 29, 30, 31, like the pitchers we see on the market, the Blake Snells, the Aaron Nolas, those types. You get them for a couple good years, then you start to see the decline. There's a world where the Dodgers could sign Yamamoto to a $300+ million contract, and every single year that he's with the Dodgers, he's in his prime. He's performing like an ace, and then by the time he's 29 or 30, maybe he has an opt-out in that deal and re-enters the market, and the Dodgers don't have to pay for the decline, or he doesn't, and they have a very productive pitcher for a very long time. This is a guy who could still have 10, 11, 12 really good years in the show. Like I said, elite forkball, pristine command, keeps the ball in the yard. His stuff is nasty. Moves more than a military family, nastier than a gas station bathroom, whatever you want to call it. This guy is an absolute ace-level starting pitcher. Any team that gets him is immediately going to upgrade their rotation. And I think with Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the track record speaks for itself. A 1.21 ERA last year, a sub-2 ERA in his career in the MPB, MVP, multi-time Sawamura winner, back-to-back years with no hitters. I mean, this guy is special. And I think you look at the direction of this franchise, the Dodgers, you don't have to go out there and get a Corbin Burns or a Dylan Cease, right? And yes, it would be nice, but still, this is the sure thing. And then you don't have to part ways with those prospects that are under multiple years of team control for pitchers that are going to be either a 1-year rental or a 2-year rental. So that's kind of how you have to think of this, because remember, Ohtani's under contract for 10 years. You want sustained success. The more of these prospects that you hit on, the better you are. And also, you can flip those prospects potentially for an in-season move if you have to address something, or another bat, which I think they ultimately are going to need. You're going to need another left fielder, a right-handed bat. So just some food for thought. But here's the thing. Ohtani was the free agent they absolutely need to have. That one was the non-negotiable, right? Standing on business. Shohei Ohtani. You had to have that. And here's the thing, though. As far as their direct needs, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, he directly addresses their biggest need this offseason. So that's something to consider. But if they don't sign him, they are going to have some options. They are going to be okay one way or the other, in my opinion. But like I said, this is how you control it. Free agency, you pay the money, you get the player. You don't have to worry about if the other team likes your prospects or they're trying to invoke the Dodger tax, right, where they're trying to get more players out of you. This is where you really flex your financial muscle if you're the Dodgers to go out there and sign a Yamamoto. But that's where we stand right now. Let me know down below in the comment section on a scale of 1 to 10. How badly do you think the Dodgers need Yamamoto? And what does your gut tell you right now? Is it Yankees? Is it Dodgers? Is it Mets? I think it's very, very close right now. I feel good about where the Dodgers are with him. I think really it just comes down to, does anybody truly know where he wants to go? Which city, which team, which franchise? I love the idea of him on the Dodgers. I've been talking about it for months now. Yankees feel like they're in prime position as well. We'll soon find out. I will say, though, Dodgers are very hot on him. They're very hot on his tracks. There's no doubt about that. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on the X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Hit that like button. I really appreciate you guys for making this the #1 Dodgers show on YouTube. You guys make this channel what it is, so be sure to make sure you're subscribed so you're eligible for all our future giveaways. We're going to be giving out jerseys and autographs and all that cool stuff, so be on the lookout for that. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.